5 suspects arrested for tender fraud at SAPS are expected to appear in the Pretoria Magistrates Court this morning. Those arrested include a kennel, an administrative employee within the SAPS Supply Chain Management Division, and 3 civilians. The 5 face charges of fraud, corruption, money laundering and perjury. The arrests in connection with 56 million rand tender fraud at SAPS. The total number of people arrested in connection with the multi-million rand SAPS vehicle branding and marking now stands at 41. For more, let's cross back again to our colleague Sipho Stuurman. Sipho, good morning once again. You said earlier that all 41 will be appearing, if I'm correct?
Yes, a very good morning to you, and we must apologize for the technical problems earlier on. Yes, the 5 that you mentioned in your intro were the latest to be added to this case. That was yesterday, and my colleague Patricia covered that. But in total, we understand that over 40 people have been arrested as a result of this tender fraud. And this case, of course, dates back to 2017, where allegedly there were police officers and some civilian companies that were involved in manipulating a tender process to ensure that specific companies receive SAPS branding tenders totaling up to 56 million rand. This matter is being investigated by the NPA Investigative Directorate. We understand that over 20 police officers in total are implicated in this matter. Of course, this does not look very good for the police that they have their members within the force that are implicated in a multi-million rand fraud case totaling up to 56 million rand. Now, of course, the police internally have been trying to suspend these officers that are involved, but then the unions have been able to successfully interdict the suspension of these police officers that are involved in this case. But we understand right now that some of the police officers that are involved and that have been charged with fraud and corruption and money laundering will be facing internal disciplinary hearing. But as we understand, they are still employed by the SAPS as this case continues. So today, all 40 plus of them are appearing before the Pretoria Magistrates Court for the first time, and that's when we're going to get more detail as to how this case then will progress going forward. So those proceedings are going to be taking place shortly here in the Pretoria Magistrates Court right behind me. But yes, that is the case. This is a multi-million rand corruption tender deal involving SAPS branding of SAPS vehicles. It's alleged that all the parties that were involved here manipulated tender processes to favor certain companies to receive these SAPS branding tenders totaling 56 million rand days rate.
Of course, we'll await the latest from you later on in the day. Sipho Stuurman, thank you so much for that update.